Lesson 19 on Math UC. Here we go. We're talking about mixed numbers. So a mixed number has a whole number and it has a fraction. This is a mixed number because it's a mix of a whole number and a fraction. But in the past, up till this point, we've been adding. So if we added 1 1/5 to this, give me just a moment. We would simply add the whole numbers. 5 plus 1 is 6. And we would add the fractions. 3/5 plus 1/5 equals 4/5. Simple, right? Now we're going to learn about subtracting mixed numbers. So we're going to take these same numbers and we're going to subtract them. So we're going to say 5 3/5 minus 1 1/5. Now this one should be pretty easy because we're going to do basic subtraction. We're going to subtract the whole numbers first. 5 minus 1 equals 4. And 3/5 minus 1/5 equals 2/5. Great, right? But that would be way too easy for us. So now we're going to look at a mixed number problem of subtraction, but it's going to require some additional work for us to do the subtraction. This problem is where we're going to begin our discussion. So, first of all, with the mixed numbers, we can subtract 4 minus 2, and that gives us 2. However, when it comes to our fractions, and I just want to pull this out, so we're going to take both of these and we're going to pull them over here so we can look at it more closely. If I take 1/3 and subtract 2/3, I don't know if I can do that. Let's see. So I'm going to draw, and I'm going to have a box that has thirds in it. And I'm going to determine that I have 1/3. So this is my 1/3. And now I need to be able to subtract 2/3. And 2/3 would be this box and this box. So can I subtract these two? This is 1, this is 2. Can I subtract that from this one where I only have 1? That's not going to work. That's kind of like saying I have 1 and I'm going to subtract 9. Can we do that? No, we cannot. So we're going to figure out how to get that done, how we're going to make that happen. So let me do a little magic here as we go back through this problem and we figure out how to solve problems like this. So we're going to go back to our problem here and we're going to do our 4 1/3 minus 2 2/3. Okay? So, because we realize that we can't subtract this 1/3, we can't say 1/3 and subtract 2/3 because 2/3 is obviously bigger than 1/3. So let's remember what our box looked like. This box is 2/3, right? And this represents 1/3. So I cannot subtract this from here because this is less. And so we've got to do a process that's going to help us to be able to properly subtract these two mixed numbers. So first, we are going to determine that, as we said, I can't subtract 2/3 from 1/3. So 1/3 minus 2/3 I can't do. However, what I'm going to need to do so that I can solve the problem is I'm going to borrow 1 from my mixed number. So my 4 is going to become a 3 because I'm borrowing 1. And 1 in this problem equals 3 over 3, correct? Yes. So if I borrowed 1 from the mixed number, I now have 3 over 3 that I can add to my 1 over 3 that is now going to give me 4 over 3. So my new problem is going to be 3 because I borrowed 1 from the 4, so I have 3. And then my fraction is now 4 over 3. Now, if we write the rest of the problem, changing nothing, let's see if we can do our math problem now. So first, I'm going to start with the mixed number, 3 minus 2. That equals 1. And then we're going to take the fraction, 4/3 minus 2/3. So let's draw that out. So we are going to have 4/3, which this is a third, this is a third, and then we're going to have one more here. And actually, we're going to make the full box. So this is 4/3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to subtract 2/3. 1, 2. So clearly, I can subtract this 2 from 4/3. So this is nothing more than the simple equation is 4 over 3 minus 2 over 3. And what is our answer? 2 over 3. That's how many we have left when it relates to subtracting those fractions. And so this now is our answer. And the reason why it's our answer is because before we didn't have enough in our fraction to do the subtraction. We can't subtract, as I gave an example. This problem was like saying 1 minus 8. We can't do that. That's just not doable. And so we had to improve or make this number greater by borrowing from our mixed number. So that's the trick to this problem. Now I want to show you one other option that you could definitely use and solve this problem as well. But I want you to understand both because it may serve you at some point better to use one or the other. So it's great to have more than one tool in your toolbox. It's always good to be able to solve a problem in multiple ways. So we're going to write our problem again. And we're going to say 4 1/3 minus 2 2/3. Okay, so one way that you could solve this problem, and we know that when we're subtracting or adding, we have to have the same denominator. These two guys have to be the same. And so we can leave this just as it is with the denominators, but we can make this an improper fraction and we could solve the problem like that. So if you recall, to make an improper fraction or to get rid of the mixed number, we're going to go 4 times 3 because we multiply these two numbers together, which is going to give us 12. And then we add the numerator. Remember, we add the numerator here. So we're going to do 12 plus 1, which is going to equal 13. And the denominator doesn't change on us, okay? So now we have that part of the problem done. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to do the same thing for this mixed number. So we're going to say 2 times 3, which equals 6. And then we're going to add the numerator again, which is 8. Which is 2. So 6 plus 2 equals 8. And that's going to be over 3. So now we've redone this mixed number and we've redone this mixed number. So now we have our new problem of 13 over 3 minus 8 over 3. So now, as we know, whether we're adding or subtracting fractions, the denominator doesn't change. So we know our denominator is going to be 3. But we also know that 13 minus 8 equals 5. Now this is, what do we call this? An improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. And so we can easily make this into a mixed number. How? Because we do a little division. How many times? 5 divided by 3 equals at least 1. And what's left over? What's left over is 2. Because if we do 5 divided by 3, it goes into 5 one time. And if we subtract that out, we have a remainder of 2. So then our answer will be 1 2/3, which is exactly the answer we get up here. Now let's check our work. We want to make sure that we are coming up with the correct answer. So how do we change this mixed number back into an improper fraction? How can we check that for sure? We take 3 times 1, which equals 3, and then we add 2, the numerator, and that equals 5. So then we have 5/3. So we have checked our work, and that's basically getting us back to this answer, and this answer are the same, but we want to have our answer in a mixed number the way the problem initially started. So this would be the answer we would want to write on our paper. That's the answer that we would want to show for our work. But I just wanted to show you how we subtract mixed numbers. I'm going to show you one more as an example because I want you to be well prepared to go back in on your homework and go to town, okay? So let's do one more together and then we will call it a day. Okay, so let's do another mixed number. So let's do 5 1/5 minus 3 2/5. Okay, so we know that we could subtract 5 minus 3 and that would give us 2. But we run into a problem when we have 1/5 subtracting 2/5. We have a problem. So let's go to our method, our first method, which is to borrow from our 5. So we're going to change that to a 4. And so that means we have 1, which is the same thing as 5/5 in this mixed number. So we're going to add that to 1/5, and that's going to give us 6/5. So we're going to rewrite this problem. We have 4 as our mixed number because we borrowed 1, and our new fraction is 6/5. And we're going to subtract 3 2/5. Now this problem is looking a bit more promising. So when we go to the mixed numbers, 4 minus 3, we get the answer of 1. And now when we subtract these fractions, 6/5 minus 2/5 is going to give us 4/5. And so now we're able to solve this problem easily by borrowing from the mixed number and remembering that 1 in this problem is 5/5. But whatever 1 is in your problem, you'll add that to the fraction to come up with your new fraction. But don't forget your mixed number. We always want to make sure we carry that over into our new problem so that we come out with the right answer. Great job. Thank you.